Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Everyone, welcome to Angel Healing House Radio. My name is Candy Hough. Through my business, Angel Healing House, which can be found at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a writer and an author, an international radio host, a Reiki master teacher, and an angel practitioner. My inspirational books entitled Angels of Faith and One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, are based on my recollections of our life in spirit, and they help us to remember our divine, eternal natures. Through Angel Healing House, I help people to let go of sadness, anger, bitterness, resentment, and regret that has kept them locked in the prison of the past, and I help them to let go of worry, stress, and control, which has kept them focused on an imagined future. And once they are no longer living in the past or the future, they can start to live in the present moment, which is the only place that they can experience synchronicities, miracles, and magic. As an angel practitioner, I help people to see their lives from a higher perspective with the help of an extraordinary group of angels who call themselves the Posse of Angels. Just like my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, I'm very excited to take some of your calls for that free angel advice. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Angel Healing House Radio. And welcome to the last show of 2019 and the completion for me of 8 years of weekly Angel Healing House radio shows. I cannot believe it has been 8 years. Looking back over that time, I've heard from countless people as to the enormous effect that the channeled messages from myself and my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, have had on their lives. Now, endemic to each one of these responses, even though they were very different, was the enormous energy of hope that the program gives to them. For example, I received this email just a few days ago. This person writes, "Hi, Claire Candy. I just read and watched your interview, read your bio on Google. Thank you so much. I have been struggling with the existence in this body, and your energy has given me a renewed sense of hope. Love unconditionally." And that comes from Paula Jackson. And in parentheses, she puts Anya. And I want to thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you who has supported, encouraged, promoted, and recommended and referred Angel Healing House throughout these 8 years. And with the clock ticking down, tomorrow is New Year, and it's a brand new decade. And to quote a song, what a difference a decade can make. Well, anyway, when I look back over the previous 10 years, I am in absolute awe of just how many of my dreams manifested and what enormous changes transpired in my life. Within the last decade, again, I created this Angel Healing House radio program. That was in 2012. And being a host on Transformation Talk Radio allowed me to take advantage of the new technology 3 years ago to not only be a radio host, but also a TV host, with my show being seen on Facebook Live TV. Within the past 10 years, I have published 5 books, including 2 audiobooks that I narrated and I voiced characters along with professional voiceover actors. And my dream, my all-time dream of becoming a #1 best-selling author was realized with 2 of my books, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and its sequel, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel, both becoming #1 international best-selling Amazon books in the USA, the UK, Germany, Canada, and Australia. And while these professional achievements brought me great joy, I also look at the previous decade and I see how much I've grown, how much I've changed. 10 years ago, I was really quite unbalanced, giving so much of my time and effort, energy, and finances that my life, my health suffered. Now, having learned to honor and respect my time, my value, my money, and create boundaries for balance, I create time for my own self-care and generally make time to create peace for my well-being. Now, the Posse of Angels, my angelic family, and I want you. We want you to think back over the past 10 years to different areas in your life and to see how much they've changed. And also look back to see what you've manifested during that time. Have your relationships changed with others? Have your relationship changed with yourself? Are your relationships more loving? Are they peaceful, less judgmental? Or do you still allow yourself to become triggered and reactive with certain people? Have some of your dreams manifested? Or perhaps are they still languishing, unrealized, creating a great deal of frustration within you, perhaps even despair? With so many of us living lives of conscious awareness, we know that everything is energy and that each one of us is creating our own realities with the energies behind the words we speak, the thoughts we think, and the feelings we choose to hold in our hearts. And yet, if we only know this intellectually as a mental concept, and we don't take inspired action to create some different energies, then because of the laws of cause and effect, really nothing much will transpire differently in our lives. And it is this mental programming of logically and rationally trying to figure life out that has a lot of us forcing and pushing a logical agenda rather than letting go and surrendering to easily follow and take inspired action toward the intuitive signs sent by God and the angels to joyously and passionately co-create our lives. Now, pushing life to a prescribed logical agenda, it reminds me of a client who was finishing up writing her book in 2015. And this was at the same time that I was finishing writing my novel, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness. And now that her book was completed, she asked to have an angel reading with me to see how Spirit was going to provide her with a publisher. Now, everyone in the reading, her angels and her spirit guides, they made no mention of a literary agent or publisher, but they were very excited and they congratulated her on finishing her book and shared that she should start writing the sequel to it. At that point, she had no idea that there was to be a sequel. Suddenly, she got very angry and she fumed and she said to me, "You tell God and the angels that until they bring me a publisher who's going to pay me money to publish this book, I'm not going to write one word of any other books. They can just forget it." And from a logical point of view, I could easily see her frustration. She had previously been a successful writer on TV shows, but had not found work in the industry for 6 years. She was frantic for money, and her desperate energies of lack pervaded every area of her life. She couldn't pay for her rent, her groceries. She couldn't keep body and soul together. Her relationships with her family and friends were strained, and they were full of blame. Pushing the river of life, choosing to force and control how God and the angels had to fill her agenda, kept away all kinds of miracles and abundance that were hers and hers alone. If she had only followed Spirit's urgings to trust and faithfully, joyfully, and abundantly write the sequel, the Posse of Angels told me that it would have opened more avenues of abundance in all forms to come into her life. Now, on the flip side of that, when I completed my second book, One True Home, I asked the Posse of Angels what I should do to promote the book, and they clearly said, self-publish this one and then go write the sequel. And at that point, I also didn't know that there was going to be a sequel. But the difference is being a faithful servant and not second-guessing what was in God's mind or God's heart. I faithfully wrote the sequel, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, the autobiography of Angel Ariel. And everyone, it was channeled so quickly that it was written in just 4 months, and it was published and released exactly a year to the date that my previous book was published. Because I felt rich and prosperous, to being of service to God's source in the way that he or she wished me to contribute my energies and my talents, my feelings of joyful abundance then spread to all other areas of my life, which created an abundance of loving relationships, an abundance of financial opportunities, and an abundance of connections to not only foster but grow this ever-expanding abundance of me being an author. And by listening intuitively to God's guidance speaking through my heart, I co-created yet another opportunity for me to be a real life hero. I didn't know it at the time, but I was living this quote by the writer Joseph Campbell, who says, a hero or heroine is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. What could possibly be bigger than surrendering one's will in order to co-create with God's will and the angels who work in the realm of miracles and possibilities? In a recent Angel Healing House program, I was asked by several listeners to channel some angelic messages on how they can move forward and what is coming next for them. Well, the Posse of Angels emphasized that it is we, as a conscious, enlightened collective, we no longer have to wait for any person in authority, any group, any organization, any guru, or any hero to give us the green light on what to do next to move forward. Many in the awakened conscious collective are now living in the realm of fifth-dimensional energies, in which we no longer have to wait for something to happen in order to realize our dreams and our prayers and wishes. Now, the reason for this is that we recognize ourselves as powerful, multidimensional beings, and who are creating our realities in every moment. And we're doing this with excitement to create something or go in a particular direction and our best barometer is the feeling in our heart as to what we are going to create next. Now, if you are a person who has relied heavily on trying to figure life out and being told what to do next, rather than following your own inner intuitive knowing, you will feel frozen You will feel paralyzed as to making movement forward. And what is increasing the frustration in so many people now is that what they may have done before or up until now is simply not working any longer. And no matter how much they push and they force an outcome, it simply is not happening. So many in the conscious collective, what they've done before, their source of clients, their source of income has dried up. This is creating space for the new to come in. Now, in this regard, okay, did you ever see the movie Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner? He's a farmer. He hears a voice that whispers to him, build it, and they will come. Now, for Kevin Costner, a lover of baseball, this involves plowing up good, usable, income-producing fields on his farm to build a baseball field out in the middle of nowhere. Listening to this voice, the voice of God, goes against all logic, but this burning desire, this urge in him is so much stronger than rational thinking. And once he follows his strong intuitive feelings, the crowds then pour in to support it. And this is the way that we create our realities as we go into 2020. We become our own heroes, our own heroines that we have been waiting for. And we do this by listening to the calling in our hearts and excitedly taking that action forward. Now, if you decide to become your own true life hero or heroine, it's important to realize that the calling that you are sensing in your heart feels so much like a mission or a purpose that is so much grander than simply doing it for your personal gain. The reason for this is that it was divinely given to you to not only serve yourself, but then to serve and share it with the rest of the world. You know, I've heard from many clients who have been successful in the corporate world, and they have increasing heartfelt feelings that's driving them to go into, let's say, the healing arts. Yet, having been told that making more and more money was their major goal, their physical and emotional health suffered once they stepped forward into taking action toward what they intuitively guided to pursue. Their health dramatically improved. When you decide to put on your hero's or your heroine's cape, this is not to save the world, as so many comic book films have shown us, as the world does not need saving, but to be of service to a larger and grander ideal. Please be prepared for some backlash. Now, well, you might be thinking to yourself, why backlash? This is especially the case if you have established yourself to be seen and recognized in a particular area. For example, when my clients who did work in the corporate world told their families that they were leaving big business and following their inner urge to go into the healing arts, they were called mad and crazy to give up their so-called secure salaries. The important point to remember is that this calling is something that gets you so excited and you feel passionate about pursuing it. It is this passion that fuels your abundant energies within and then will create abundance in all other areas of your life. There's another caution here. If you do follow your intuitive feeling that urges you to follow a mission or a calling, there will be many who call you strange and odd as you do not act and follow and fit into what so-called normal people will do. And in this category of a hero who definitely followed his inner calling and back then in the 60s, 50s and 60s, when he was pursuing this and when he was establishing himself, he was seen to be really quite odd, I would put a man who championed and touched the hearts of a whole generation, and he did it by being exactly who he was. In the last few weeks, my husband Pete and I saw the movie It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks, and we also watched the documentary Won't You Be My Neighbor about the children's TV host presenter, Mr. Rogers. I had the good fortune for my children to grow up watching Mr. Rogers with his homespun, some might say, old-fashioned way of caring and truly listening to others. His quiet, slow, and deliberate demeanor, compassionate, and his invested approach to being sensitive to his audience, it was made even more evident when compared, at that time, with loud, fast-moving slapstick humor of children's television, of violence, and people getting slimed and hit in the face with pies. This kind and gentle man saw not only children, but all people as important, and he made kindness, and he made being gentle and compassionate his ministry. One could easily say not just for parents and children, but for animals as well. In a segment in the film, Mr. Rogers meets with Coco, the signing gorilla, who expresses love, and she signs how much she loves Mr. Rogers. It was so sweet. Mr. Rogers was a wise adept at communicating this kind of love and telling a whole generation that they were special, just the way they are. This was not meant as a sort of entitlement, that they didn't have to work hard and diligently for their dreams and goals, but that each one of us is unique and as such is of great value to the world. While Fred Rogers was an ordained minister and he had a deep interest in child psychology, he had a very singular approach, practicing a kind of humanism that expressed itself as a commitment to everyone's dignity. He believed children's emotions were important to address, and he devoted his whole life to doing so. What struck many people as extraordinary was that Mr. Rogers was basically the same person off camera as he presented himself to be on camera, as this was unexpected with many people on TV. With the channels overflowing with shows about creating division through competing against one another in singing, athletics, dance competitions, or on the flip side of that, we have TV panel talk shows where people criticize each other, judging what people wear, what they eat, what they say. The documentary exposed what a vast wasteland television is when it comes to programs that really set out to touch the human condition. And Mr. Rogers addressed the human condition and touched our hearts simply being an example of interacting with kindness toward people of all ages. And it is rather jarring as it brings into light how much his simple message of valuing another person and giving them dignity still makes sense today, and how little it is evident in our technologically fast-paced world. Now, Mr. Rogers said, as human beings, our job in life is to help people realize how rare and valuable each one of us really is, that each of us has something that no one else has or ever will, something inside that is unique to all time. It's our job to encourage others to discover that uniqueness and provide ways of developing its expression. With tomorrow, everyone, being a brand new year, as we enter a whole new decade, it would be wonderful if we all devoted our time to bring back some of Mr. Rogers' old-fashioned kindness and make dignity, respect, and caring about our neighbors fashionable once again. So in 2020, when you are in conversation with somebody, look them in the eye, put your phone down, give them the dignity that they deserve, for by showing kindness, and being interested in what others say, you will be a hero. The world will find ways to invest in your herohood and your worth and your value. You've been listening to me, Claire Candy Hough, on Angel Healing House Radio. Do remember that Angel Healing House Radio airs every week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be taking some of your calls for that free angel advice. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. See you after this quick break.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Hough, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com. Take your own journey with the angels with Claire Candy Hough's Heaven Sent Guided Angel Meditation CD, letting go of concerns and living in the now. This beautiful CD walks listeners through practical exercises to help free them from the burdens, worries, and concerns of daily life.
Walking a quarter of the way across the bridge, you see a bright, emerald green light and sense a loving presence. This is Archangel Raphael's green healing energies, nourishing and revitalizing you. Take a moment now to bathe in this green healing light.
Giving you much more than just relaxation and stress release, this wonderfully narrated CD provides vivid visualization, soothing and inspiring music, and an angel's choir that will bring you peace, clarity, and a newfound awareness. Visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Welcome back, everyone, to Angel Healing House Radio with me, Claire Candy Hough. I see we have two callers on the line. Remember, if you would like a reading with myself and my wonderful angelic family, the Posse of Angels, do call in on 1-800-930-2819. Before we get to that Florida call and New York call, I'd just like to take a peek at the energies that will be affecting all of us tomorrow. Brand new year, brand new decade. 2020 arrives. And numerologically, 2020 can be looked at in two ways. Firstly, it adds up to a 4 year. 4 is the number of stability, security, safety, having a solid foundation. It's the year we start building the tangible new structure for our reality that we have been making space for individually and collectively. You might not have known this. We've been making space for 2020 for the last few decades, although we might not have known we were building towards it. Now, secondly, 2020 can be looked also as a number 2 doubled. Numerologically, the number 2 is all about partnership, collaboration, teamwork, as we will now be drawing to ourselves a new soul tribe to help support, work with, and promote these passion projects that we believe in and have created. And whether we see it as a 4 year or a 2 year doubled, we all will be ending collective karmic cycles of the past 34, 20, and 13 years. Get ready for a drastic year of changes and new beginnings. Now, 2020 carries some of the most potent cosmic energies we have seen in a very long time, and this is mainly due to 3 planetary cycles that have completed, and they're now starting again fresh. the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, good luck, and good fortune. Saturn, the hard taskmaster planet of karma that applauds us, our perseverance, and often pushes us to the breaking point. And Pluto, the planet of ordeals that alters everything with revelations and sometimes ruin and revival. The combination of these aspects means major transformations. It's the alignment of Pluto and Saturn that peaks in January. Lots of people are speaking about January 12th, that is going to set the tone for the entire year. Our soul, along with planet Earth, is going to be learning how to harmonize with these potent energies. This strong frequency will provide a huge opportunity for humanity and to ascend into the higher levels of consciousness. Along with huge ascension and awakening, it will reveal more darkness on the planet. And as enlightened beings, it will not be up to us to fix anything, but to keep raising ourselves so high in our frequency that the energies of darkness will simply fall away. For you see, we are enlightening at such a rapid rate and pace that the darkness is much too heavy to exist in the new wave of being, as all energy must harmonize with the planet and its now awakened inhabitants. To lighten your load, think about the things that you can now shed, release, and let go of. Let go of anything that is weighing you down in order for you to move into the new light energies that are now on offer as we go into 2020. Let's go to our first caller. We have Julia in Florida. Hello, Julia. You're on the line with Claire Candy Hough. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
How are you?
Happy New Year's Eve. Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Too. I hope it's a magical and a miraculous New Year. And you know, a lot of people say that they hope somebody's wishes come true. This goes for me too. But I also wish you to be surprised and see how God and the angels have created the fulfillment of your dreams. And sometimes they might not come in the way that we're expecting. And that's really why we have to release and surrender and let go.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, what question do you have for the Posse of Angels?
Well, just, like everybody this time of year looking into, 2020 and, like when you go to the movies and you see your previews of coming attractions. I guess I'm kind of curious, what are the previews of my coming attraction?
Oh, how wonderful. Okay, so we're asking the Posse of Angels. While I'm shuffling the cards, they're telling me to tell you that you have become much better at letting go, at not really having to know every detail, and opening yourself up to, the innocence of being a child, and to know that you will be protected and guided and looked after. They're saying you've become better at looking for the signs. I don't know if you have felt that way. Have you felt that way?
Yeah, slowly but surely. It's a work in progress.
Well, I know. You could be 51% rather than 49%. But no, they're saying it's it's more like up into the 80s, high 80s percentage of the time where you really have learned to let go. And they're saying it's much easier to work with those and bring them the fulfillment of their desires if they really do release what that outcome is going to be for them. and how, certainly the how is supposed to come in, and the timing, because as we know, the angels don't work in time, because there is no time across the veil. The first card that you get is the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles card is the card of working hard on your craft, being very diligent, and they're wanting to say that that as you go into 2020, there will be more reasons for you to be recognized for what you do, for, and they're also saying, don't limit yourself to what you've done before. And this is a really important message, not only for you, Julia, but for everyone in the awakened conscious collective. Because as I spoke about in a last radio programs, is in many ways we get to start all over again, and we get to choose. And what we might have done up until now maybe past its use-by date. There's nothing wrong with it. We could do it in our sleep. But they're saying there is something else that you love doing, and to open yourself up to being presented with an opportunity, a job or a career or some business opportunity, to do what you love doing. I'm not sure what that is. Do you have any inkling what that is?
Not off the bat, but, recently I've been watching a lot of those videos, where people go into other people's home and sort of help them organize and, declutter. And I've always been, one of those people, even, going to the store, if I go in and I see, things are out of place on a shelf, I tidy them. I know that's a little odd, but it's like that thing. I like organized. I like things in their place, and helping people to,
Well, and also from a feng shui point of view, when our lives are, when our closets are cleaned, certainly we can access and know what we, clothing-wise, what we have, and we wear more of our clothes when they're organized. When people's homes are not cluttered, there's more of a flow, and there's an energetic flow. I think this would be a wonderful thing for you to do. But the main thing is that you're excited about it. You could even write up, make a free website, putting your services, how much you charge per hour. Maybe you could have a free consultation for maybe a 15 or 20-minute phone conversation with somebody, and then you tell them your services, and then you get stuck into it. Whether that's cleaning out garages or attics, or sometimes people need help when their loved ones cross away and cross over and pass away, and they simply do not know where to start. You could get the numbers of it's not estate sales, but those companies that buy up the lots of furniture, lots of people's clothing, or to donate it to different places, or to resell it, or that kind of thing. So I think you're onto something, and the more you start to really consider this, then what happens in 2020 is that the universe, God and the angels, notice your excitability and enthusiasm and passion, and then they'll bring you the people. Build it like the field of dreams. Build it, Julia, and they will come. The next card that you get is the Two of Cups. This is a partnership card. But most of all, in this card, what they're showing me is that this feeling that I get is this overwhelming feeling of joy that you have in creating space and creating a flow for other people, that's your cup of joy. And then you marry this, and then you fill the cup of joy with those people that you're going to be working with. And it's angelically driven because there's the angel above you. I love this.
Beautiful.
And the page of
Yes.
the page of wands is the next card. And this is a fire energy. And they're saying that the more, because of the laws of cause and effect, for every action, there is a reaction. So the more that you put in and you get excited, you get really excited about what you're doing, and you're going to create such a lovely brochure and lovely business cards and talk to different people, then the connections and opportunities will be fired up to come to you as a result of your action. I want to go to our heroes card because I was speaking about the hero's journey today, and pull you one more card. How does all this sound for you?
It sounds amazing. I'm
Doesn't
taking notes as usual.
Oh my gosh, I am getting so excited for you. I think this is wonderful. There's so many different avenues that you can help people with. And also, our homes and our workspaces, they are representative of, what's cluttered in our lives. And if we go back and we create space there, then we create space in all areas of our lives. Let's go to the hero's journey and see what card we can get for our lovely Julia in Florida. Okay, this card says, time for a quantum leap. Prepare for a I didn't make this up. Prepare for a makeover. And the quote says, I've worked with a lot of really fine actors, both on stage and on screen. The level of their game lifts me up and brings the level of the game up to theirs. It's an upgrade that you're feeling now. Feel the thrill of the winds of change blowing through your hair. Smell the new blessings whispering from around the next corner. Sense that you're being summoned to level up to something magnificent. You don't have to do anything rash, like give notice for your job or leave your relationship or vacate your residence. This might just mean it's time to get curious about an improved version of yourself. Meditate on how you can best align with the higher levels of wisdom, blessings, and gifts now emerging through you, and infuse that awareness into your here and now. I would definitely start to create, sweetheart, because this does feel like it's a wonderful, wonderful new thing to step into. So I hope that's been helpful for you.
Awesome as usual. Thank you so much. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Have a
beautiful.
beautiful new year, extraordinary decade, and make sure you call in to tell us where this is all leading.
All right. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year, 2020.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year, 2020. Take care, sweetheart. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Julia. That was very exciting. Let's go to our next caller. We have Stephanie in New York. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I've been a little down, I think, from the holidays and family stuff. Mm-hmm. And my partner's family stuff. And, we're, they're mean. They're mean, and they exclude us from various celebrations and vacations. And it's hard to watch. And I feel like it's taking a lot of my energy away.
The reason it's taking your energy away is because you're expecting it to be different.
Yeah, but it feels
and
so
they don't have to. They don't
so
listen, Stephanie. They don't have to live up to your expectations. You are so blessed. You are so blessed that you were excluded from being with mean people. And put your emphasis on the blessing.
Yeah, well, they're mean to us. I don't know if they're mean to each other or not.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters most is that the reason it's upsetting you is because you have established that they should act differently, which they're on their spiritual journey. You wouldn't like it if they told you not to do what you like to do or what you set out to do. Everyone's allowed to have their spiritual journey. Everyone's allowed to act the way they wish. And maybe this is perfect for their spiritual journey. Who knows? But the more that you let this upset you, the more that it's going to impact on your 2020 and the new things that God and the angels and you could co-create together. You don't want to take any of those energies into 2020.
Yeah, I can see that. It hurts because, I long for a sense of family. So it's, just so it hurts. And, so maybe it would help to hear what I could co-create in 2020 so I could put my focus on that. I don't know.
Yeah. Now also what I spoke about before was that we are now drawing to ourselves a new soul tribe, a new soul family, not to replace our biological families, not to replace them, because they are irreplaceable. And we chose them a lot of times to be in contrast, or as you say, to be mean or whatever, to teach us tolerance, patience, acceptance. And, for somebody who is very different from us, because, it's very easy to love others who love us, but it's more difficult to love others who don't unconditionally love and forgive us and all those things. So, it's that we're going to be drawing a new soul tribe to ourselves that are going to support us, promote us, encourage us, love us, and all of those things. So that is on the agenda for many people in 2020. Now, this can't happen if you keep looking back and trying to cling to those who don't want to associate with us, or who don't believe in us, or who don't support us. Look forward, they're saying. Look forward to that new soul tribe that is coming in. And then I'll choose some cards. Like I asked Julia, and I said, and this goes out to everyone, what we have done before is certainly not the be-all and end-all of what we can do. So is there anything that you get excited about possibly pursuing in 2020?
Well, I would love to start a family, which I've mentioned before. Yeah, I mean, that's, and career stuff, and maybe if that could work out with, energy work or something like that, that would be great too.
Okay.
But,
certainly.
I'd want to get pregnant naturally. A friend of mine just suddenly died a couple of weeks ago. She had one mini IVF session, and it gave her cancer quickly, and she just died. And her baby didn't make it. She lost the baby at 5 months, and then she died, a couple of weeks later. And, I'm high risk because of my health history for hormonal stuff. So, and she did the low, just mini IVF one time, and she's gone. So, yeah, a natural pregnancy without any of that stuff, and, healthy child and all of that would be amazing.
Right. So what we've spoken about before is really letting all of that go and go into a field where you'll be working with children. And the first card that comes out for you is the Fool card. And the Fool card is a new direction. That's but not only a new direction, it's like starting over with a brand new attitude, starting over in a new direction. But also, this is about childlike innocence and naivete. Allow yourself to be that child and to work with children. So much of this is about a childlike innocence that I can't get past this reference here to children. So so they're encouraging you to go into areas where you get to work with children, and to release. You do need to release this, this longing for the children to have children in your life in just the way that you say, to have a child. Okay, because you can adopt, you can foster. There are many ways. Research has shown that so many, there are lots of women who have tried an IVF and tried different things, and then they've released that, and then they've gone into not making their career everything, but with their focus off of that, they've become pregnant. I'm not saying this is going to happen for you, but certainly the Posse of Angels are saying, please go into that area where you can be around children. The next is the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, wait, I babysit now, so
good.
They don't think that counts?
No, they're just saying as an overall umbrella. And then the Wheel of Fortune comes in. And the Wheel of Fortune is saying that until you take your focus off of something that is not working, and then just allow the universe to bring you opportunities where you can, where you can work with children, then they're saying that's gonna be you'll allow the Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor. And the next card that you come out is the Nine of Cups, is the Wish card. And so Spirit knows what you're wishing for. They know what you're wishing for, and they want you to just take the, how this will happen and how it's supposed to happen. And just go into the areas where you will feel happy and joyful and to be of best service. So I'm going to pull one more card from the Hero's Journey. We only have about another 2 minutes. But they're saying, certainly, free yourself, bless those people who don't want you in their lives, whether they be family or whatever. Bless them, unconditionally love them, and then thank the universe for those new people coming in, that not to replace them, but that will be your new soul tribe. And then here's your card. You hold the key to an awakened life. Set yourself free, and I couldn't have said it any better. There are dreams you wish would never end, like when you're finally getting into the groove of something. Take heart, knowing these dreams. While you remember your dream, it remains alive and well. Foster that, nourish that dream of working with children, feeling the joy of being service and being around them, and then you hold the key to know that nothing is outside of yourself, and you hold the key of magic and miracles as we go into 2020. So I hope that's been helpful for you, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you. Although I do babysit pretty regularly, not just here
Good.
And there. So
that's wonderful.
So, but they keep mentioning doing work with children as if I'm not. So do they mean a different way of working with children?
Just keep opening yourself, and the opportunities and the connections will find you. Will find you. Just put your emphasis on that joy. Thank you. Happy New Year,
okay.
Stephanie.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care
Happy
of
New Year
yourself.
to you too.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that just about wraps up our show today. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Thank you to my callers. Thank you to everyone over the past year who's called in, who sent me emails, who's phoned me. Your support and your encouragement and your promotion and recommendation have been so, so wonderful in my life. And I'm so thankful for it. I wish you an extraordinary new year of not only your dreams coming true, but of health and happiness and joy. So remember, everyone, to go out and fashion a beautiful new year to your life, a beautiful new decade. And I'm wishing you love and angel blessings. And I look forward to speaking with you in the new year. Take care, everyone. Bye.